Today we're going on a road trip. All right, and this is Chula Vista. My name is Amina Abdullahi, real estate agent with Century 21, affiliated here in East Lake, Chula Vista. And today I would like to let you have this beautiful view. Just look at this. And this is East Chula Vista. This is still in 91913. This community is well thoughtfully done and designed because every set of homes, like every complex, every community within Chula Vista tends to have like its own layout of like barbecue area, parks, walking trails. Of course, they do have the HOAs where you have like swimming pool, community swimming pool, parks, clubhouses. You have all of these to kind of like make your living here very entertaining. Let's not talk about the award-winning schools, the high-rated schools here, or in the 7, 8, 9s, name it. So this is a beautiful community. I tend to love this place a lot. It has pretty much everything you need. Close by shopping areas, entertainment areas, you have the restaurants, you have amazing places. And it's not just for people that have bought the homes and own them, but you do have rental properties as well in this area. So we do have certain areas where, like on my right here on this street, we do have some condos, townhouses, where it's double purpose. So we do have the commercial aspect where the down floors are like like the shops, and then on top are the residences. So pretty much we have a mixture in here. This is a beautiful place. I'm just gonna drive through, even though I'm almost home, but I'm gonna drive through and talk to you about the house buying process. I did a video back in my home where I talked about how to get yourself prepared. In this video, I'm going to tell you about when you have gotten, or when you are certain that, okay, at this point I am pretty okay, I have been qualified for this amount, and so I'm able to purchase the home that I'm looking for. This could be a condo, this could be a townhouse, this could be a detached home, which could also be a condo, detached condo. It could be a single family home. It could be the split one that I said, like where you have the commercial down and then you have the residential up. It could be all of that. So in this situation, what I would like to do, this is where like my domain really comes into play, right? Because we are done with the lending aspect or the financial aspect. So in this case, what you also want to do is to kind of discuss further with the lender, which most of my lenders do. They will discuss with you as a prospective buyer that, okay, what budget range do you want to stay? Based off that, it could also map up the areas we are looking for, because aside from knowing what you want in a home, your budget also will determine which location and areas that you could possibly buy. And in that situation, we map up the areas. I get to know what is most important to you, if there are schools, if we are trying to find a home that suits your lifestyle, more entertaining or more quiet, or a blend of the two. This is where we are able to do so. On my left, we do have the Walmart Super Center. We have a lot of things here. We even have the Navy Federal Bank right on my left. When we're coming back, I'll take you through. But again, this is pretty much on my right. You would see the we have the mall, we have some residential areas, we have some hotels as well. So this is pretty much a very family-friendly neighborhood. We have a lot of military people living in this area as well. And then you have like that mix where, because of the businesses around, you are able to, we have a very mixed blend of civilians as well doing their own thing. So it is culturally diverse, and so it makes it very accommodating, where everybody has a voice, everybody has a space. Okay, all right. So like I was mentioning, so we find the areas and then we find the type of home. So once we've been able to identify the home that you want, depending on how long the home has been on the market, the traffic towards that home and also in the area and all those things, this would also influence our negotiations. Okay, so again, I do my homework and I tell you what offer to write and how your offer should look like. And it's because no contract is the same. Every offer will be different and will be tailored towards the home that you find. So again, once we have identified a home, you write an offer and your offer is accepted, the next phase is to go into escrow, because whatever offer you're writing, mind you, this will become like your determined contract between you and the seller. Okay, that is if it's counted, it's not counted, and all those things. I mean, we'll set up the expectations for each stage of it, but broadly, your offer is accepted, you go into escrow. One will ask, what is an escrow? Escrow is a neutral entity, is a company that makes sure that both parties meet their part of the contract. Okay, so if you set up dates, if you set up certain expectations or things you have told the seller, then you have to meet those in conjunction with the dates that you have set. And so with that said, you would also again mention also the seller has to provide you certain requirements that would enable you, because you do have contingencies. So all these are done within escrow, and escrow days varies. It could be as fast as a week. That is a crazy fast, but it's possible. Or it could be 30 days, which is the average period, or an extended one of 45 days or more. Okay, but everything is agreed before you go into escrow, and if there are any changes to be done, both parties would have to sign off it, and then it will be sent again. Escrow will accept it and amend its date and times. Okay, all right, so with that said, once all of that is done, again, when you go into escrow, there are certain things that you need to do, you may or may not have to do, and that is like the appraisal. Appraisal is what the banks will order an appraiser to go and check if truly the home is worth the price that it was put up for, okay, which you offered. And there is the inspection, where you are also trying to make sure that the condition of the home and all the disclosures about the home and everything really meets what you're looking for and you can live by. Okay, all right, now look at that. See this beautiful park. Like I said, every community in Chula Vista has this beautiful scenery, beautiful area, golf course, and like areas of entertainment. So it's a nice blend of residential and then really a lifestyle. Okay, so once all of that is done, the next step is also to, and this, I'm not really going anywhere, I'm just giving you a tour of some of the areas in Chula Vista. So once that is done, you really want to, you've checked the inspections, you have secured insurance for the home, you've secured the appraisal came at value or more than the value or whatever it is. Escrow is also another time for another set of negotiations, but again, you want to be prepared from the onset and to know what the expectations are for each area, for each stage of the process. Okay, all right, which I would explain to you, and that's why you really need an agent to represent you and to help you understand these steps and processes. Okay, you have work to do, so you don't have to really be too occupied and consumed with the terms, conditions, and stuff of things. So that's why your agent is able to explain these things to you to make your work easy. There are some expectations for the buyers and there are some expectations for the agent and all the parties involved, but it's important for you to understand every step of the area. I mean, I keep saying area because I'm in an area. Well, there was an open house one time here. One of our colleagues was selling this home. It's sold now. That is amazing. So yeah, that's the reason why I just passed through here. So these ones are not necessarily like new builds. These are like older communities. And the beautiful thing about older communities is that it's an established community, so everything you see is what you get. There are no surprise developments and things that could alter maybe the layout and things that you initially saw of the area, unlike like in the cases of new builds. Okay, you don't entirely know everything that is going to happen in there, but so that those are some of the strengths of older communities. Okay, all right, so with that said, again, I would continue with the process in escrow. So escrow, once everything is satisfied, which includes, when you go into escrow, you have, as a buyer, you have 4 superpowers. I like to say you have 4 superpowers, because you have the investigations aspect, which includes your inspections, HOA documents, TDS, like the transfer disclosure statements, and everything. Okay, everything you need to know about the home. So you have that power. And then the second power is also the appraisal. Appraisal also would come in to ensure that, okay, the home is really worth the price. But and then you have the third power, which is the loan. But before we even get to the loan, there's one that has been introduced, which is the insurance, because currently insurance seems to be a difficult situation in California and other parts of the state. So once you have that, one of the things you want to really work on immediately is the insurance, because you just want to make sure that you are able to insure your home. And by doing so, you would know how much exactly your mortgage is going to be, because most times lenders will have an estimated figure of what your insurance bill would be. But if you find your home in maybe a high fire zone or something, then this becomes probably problematic, because then you have to purchase a higher priced insurance to cover up your home. So you need to work on that ASAP. And that's the reason why it's become a contingency. And now it's quite difficult, because a lot of the companies did leave California, like in other states as well. So you always want to make sure that there's that ease in finding an insurance for your home. So okay, this is another entertaining area, a beautiful entertaining area. And it talks about, I mean, here you have shops, you have like the Home Depot, you have some ice cream joints here, you have Wendy's, you have a car wash, you have a filling station, you have so much here to enjoy. And then if you go further up, there's even another set of jobs. It's called something market, where even on Christmas and stuff, they would bring the Santa Claus, and then you take your pictures, you take your kids, and then like there's so many fun things on each day which you can also enjoy. And if you live in Chula Vista, they would send you these notifications and these coupons and prizes and stuff, just for you to take advantage of the shops here. So I'm showing you Target, and like I'm just going to go through this big shopping area just so that you know that, you know, Chula Vista is really a beautiful place. Anyway, so once you've had all those contingencies, which the last one will be the loan, because the loan pretty much needs all these things to be satisfied for the lender to say, okay, I'm also satisfied giving the money for it. Okay, all right, so the loan is the last contingency to be taken out, and usually is the last document to be signed, but it is not the last date for you to remove that contingency. So it's very important you're working with a very good lender, that whoever gives you an assurance that, oh, they're able to fund this from the onset, you'll be able to, I mean, you'll be assured by the end of the day that they will meet their part of the bargain. So it's very important for you to do that. And so, like I mentioned, this is a very this will be a very long video, but I intend to make it entertaining. That's why I'm driving through, so you can enjoy a little bit of scenery and stuff. But again, so once all those contingencies are removed, you go in and then you do a final walkthrough. One thing I would like to caution you though is, before you write an offer, you are literally saying that you are okay with the home. So even though you're going to do inspections, which I'll talk about in another video, even though you're going to do inspections, it doesn't mean the seller is obligated to do anything. Okay, it's just prudent that they do that, because you know you don't want to upset the buyer, but they are not required to, because per law, actually every home in California is sold as is, meaning in the condition from which you saw it. Okay, all right, so yeah, here you have Wells Fargo, there's a bank here, and then on my side there's Lowe's. I remember the first time I was like, Lois. My husband said, hey, they don't say Lois, they say Lowe's. And then my son said the same thing. Anyway, so we have pretty much a lot of stuff here. Luna Grill, we have Subway, Panda Express, all those things. Anyway, I'm not advertising them. Let's talk about the transaction. So once all of that is done and you remove contingency, you go and do a final walkthrough, just making sure that if you made requests, you are going to check if those requests have been, if the seller agreed to do them, you're checking if the seller has really done them. And then also you do a final walkthrough to make sure that the home is in the condition in which you found it when you put in an offer. Okay, all right, so then once the walkthrough and everything is done, loan documents have been signed and everything, then you have closing. Okay, it sounds like it's a short process, but it really isn't. A lot of things go in, but with proper information and expectations and strategy, you are able to close on your home peacefully. I don't say that every transaction is easy. You know, it's not really easy. It's not all of them that could be easy. Every transaction is very different, but every transaction can be managed. So like I said, with proper preparation and expectations and everything, and you know, hard work from your side and from the side of your agent and all other people involved, this really works out great. And also, I did like to mention title would also appear in your investigation aspect, where you tend to know if there are some extra payments to be done in the area, if you're actually buying the home from the legitimate seller. All these things are things you see during the investigation aspects. Okay, so when you're buying a home, don't be too scared. All these things can be reviewed with I work with some great title people, and they are able to assist me even if they are not the ones providing the title. They are able to help talk to my buyers to kind of understand how the process goes. But pretty much title reps, I mean, whoever is providing the title is also able to explain the process to you and to tell you what is in there. If there are mellorules, which are like special taxes paid in certain areas to develop the areas, they will tell you when some of them do fall off, because it's usually like a 25 to 30 years bond, and once this is going to be paid off, some get paid off along the line, some are paid off you know, at the end of the 30 years or 25 years. So they will inform you of all of these, so you have enough knowledge, okay, buying that home, so there are no fears. Okay, all right, so this has been the video I wanted to show you, actually to take you through the buying process. For every stage of the buying process, I'll do other videos to tend to explain what each stage is and what is expected and required. Again, thank you very much for staying on and sharing this road trip in Chula Vista with me. And if you're familiar, you know that, yeah, this is another beautiful area. You know, some of the areas are gated. So right now we're going through, but around 8, they would close off this place. So if you live in this area, you can just drive through. But if you're a visitor, or you know, you don't necessarily live in this area and don't have the pass, you go through the security post, where they will just, you know, just ensuring the safety of the people within that vicinity, okay, that community. So again, my name is Amina Abdullahi, real estate agent with Century 21 affiliated. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. The house buying process can be tedious, but I'm here to help you. Okay, all right, so peace out. Bye.